Well, hello to everyone that watches my videos. Today I'm just going to take a little walk around the garden, see what's happening. We're on the last day of June today. The weather has been absolutely crazy. It's been really hot, and the last couple of days we've had some real windy days, which is the worst thing for me in this garden. I really don't like the wind with the sun. It just dries everything out. So this hosta is one called Paul's Glory, and it's a fantastic hosta, very big, and I like the colours that it has. I don't know how to describe those, but it's really nice. It's done the best it's ever done this year. I moved it from off the steps and put it into a bigger pot, so no doubt that's helped. And this year I'm feeding more than ever. I'm doing it on a weekly basis with all my plants now. And it's making a difference, as it should. More hostas here. One there, that one there is called Sage, and then the one at the back there, that's called Catherine. I've noticed over the last week or so that this one is actually getting little bits and bobs of little rusty bits. Now, I think that's down to my watering. I'm splashing it and the sun's burning it. Although it appears to be in a lot of sun at the minute, it does go back into shade. But to be quite honest, all of these plants could do with being in more shade, but they're doing okay. So I'm not going to upset the apple cart by moving them, just leave them where they are. Now this is the floating deck, as my regular viewers will know. And I've had a bit of a move around, move bits and bobs. And I think the viola's pretty much done now. I think they're at their best, or the best has already gone, if I'm honest. So I'm looking to change that. So I've done the planting of these two cow feeders, and I'm quite happy with them. Very happy, actually. I've put more grasses. I'd intended to make it more alpine-y, both of them, but actually they've become everything but an alpine planting. In fact, more grasses than anything, but you know I like my grasses. So we've put some really nice grasses in there. I'm not going to go through all these plants because there's just too many, but there's a lot of plants. One plant I will mention is this one here, but it's a little shrub actually. It's called Viburnum opulus nanum, a very, very small shrub. I can't remember how big it gets. I think it's about a foot, maybe 2 foot maximum, but it never flowers. So if you're looking for something that flowers, don't buy that one, because you'll be very disappointed. That grass is a good one. That's one that we found down at my friend's nursery. And it's a very strong and sturdy Deschampsia. And it's still on trial at the moment, but I think it shows great possibility. So I put them into this planter because I needed to really keep my eye on them and check them to see if they are doing what I think they're doing. So they're new in, so we've got to give it a bit more time. I put them in the garden, as I said, last year, and well, 2 years ago they did really well, but last year they weren't so good. So I collected it up and actually split it into more plants, and it's doing really well. It's very, very green and very strong at its base, and that comes from one of its parents. And then the golden colour, that comes from another one of its parents. But I don't want to tie you up into the complexities of all this, because I know it can be a little bit boring for most people. This is Persicaria. And I showed this I think it was on my last video. And I had one little stem and I said I was going to keep it in the pot and grow it on in a 1 litre. And then it would be planted out next year. Well, after that, I was given this one from a friend of mine. And she gave me this one because she's managed to get quite a lot of the plants. And because it is a quick spreader, it's easy to propagate. And that one's Purple Fantasy. Good Persicaria. So this little shrub is a Catinus, and it's one called Young Lady. And you can see it's flowering. It's commonly called the smoke bush. Now it's the bigger ones that look a little bit more like they're on fire. This one kind of does. And it's looking better by the day, to be honest. That's looking good. So moving on to the next planter. I've done sort of similar or probably complementary type planting for the one on the right. This is a good grass that you should seriously think about getting. I've shown it before on loads of my videos, but this one's called Calamagross Waldenbush, and at this time of year it produces this lovely seed head, casting a nice shadow actually on the wall. So it's lovely, a very fresh green, as you can see there. That euchre looks nice. Lovely. And it kind of, well, it almost matches the grass. I might have made a mistake putting this one in here because they do tend to like it a little bit more shady. But this does get shade in the afternoon. This is just a seedling from a Strantia shaggy. And I spotted it in all my plants the other day. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to let that one go. I'm going to keep that one. So I've put it in here. So we've really just got to wait now. Just got to wait and see what sort of developments we get from this. Time will tell whether it's any good. And just remember, sometimes things don't work out like they didn't in the first instance in this. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. When I first planted it, it was very good. But remember, we had some fresh compost in there. So they always do look good, and the one thing you need to do is actually refresh that compost every single year. Otherwise it goes backwards. Each of the beds go backwards if you don't, or the planters go backwards. So you should do that every year, and then you end up with a really nice border, or planter in this case. Move on to this planter. Now this I got from a friend up in Yorkshire, or Kathy's friend really, and it is a traditional stone carved, and it's hand carved planter. And I don't really show this enough because I've never really hit it off with the planting that I put in there, but I think I have now. I think I've got it. So we've gone for more alpine-y type plants in there, and it looks really good now. Finally, this Euphorbia is doing all right. This one's called Compton Ash, and it's got really blue. Let's get close to it. Really blue. Now I've had it in the garden, but don't do very well. Never has done very well for me there. So I put it back into this tin bucket. I'm trying to show you it. I'm delaying a bit here, but I'm just trying to show you it's in a bucket, and it's definitely doing better as a result of that. So I'm surmising from that it would prefer a more drier type area, which is where I had it in the garden, but it just doesn't want to grow. So there it is. It's doing all right there. So here's another, what would that have been? That's a cow feeder again. Actually, it's like the other two we've just looked at, and in this instance this is on the south side of the house, so I had to be very, very aware of that fact. So I put in lavenders, and they're doing all right now. This is a white lavender called the Edelweiss, and I've got Verbena bonariensis, everybody's favourite. Well, I think they are, and they are a plant that just is no trouble whatsoever. Some people complain that they actually get too many of it, and yes, they can be problematic like that, but that again, that's down to you. Don't be blaming the plant. Oh, got too many plants growing. Oh, it's a bit of a weed, that one. I hear it all the time, honestly. It really annoys me. I always want to say to the people, I want to slap them about a bit actually, and tell them, you know, it's down to you. Down to you. Stop moaning about the plant, the free plants, for goodness sake. These, if you bought them from the garden centres, are £8 a pot. So embrace them and stop moaning that they're self-seeding everywhere. They're fantastic plants. And as we're getting hotter and hotter summers now, these are absolutely perfect for that. Perfect. So it seems we're quite early on in the day. I'll get a chance to show you the Katananchi Cullia because they're actually out. And they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love that colour and that deep purple colour in the eye. Really nice. I think there's three plants there, or is it just two? Or is it back to one? Actually, I think I took the other two out actually, because this plant makes such a sprawler that I've put the others back into pots to grow them on. This is nice. I love this one. This is a Nyphophia called Rufa. And finally, it's starting to get established. It's starting to produce even more flowers lower down that are not so obvious. But it's the colour. So this is a species type. Sorry about moving the camera. I'm just trying to get the best shot for you. So there you go. It looks beautiful. But it's that Katananchi that I just absolutely love at this time of year. Now, if you do get this one, be careful, because by the afternoon, it will close its flowers up, as a lot of plants do. But in the morning, it's fantastic. It looks beautiful. And I get it because, or I've got it because it goes well with grasses. And to be quite honest with you, I should have it tucked in with grasses. There is a grass down there, but a bit small, that one. Really, it wants to be in some taller grasses where it would look stunning. So it makes a clump former. Will set seeds. Never seen them. I wish I would do. And then I could, well, actually, I'm one of those moaners, aren't I? Oh, they don't flower enough for me. They don't, to be honest. The ones that I want never flower for me or never set seed for me, which is really annoying. But overall, it looks great. I'm having a right moan today, aren't I? I think it's the heat. I'm not good with heat. I never have been. This is a great plant. Now this one is believe it or not, this is a Lysomachia called Hepimerum. And I love it. It's a real clump former. I'm trying to get the best shot for you, so don't be moaning at me. Let's try and get back further back. There we go. So that's a really nice plant. Very upright. And again, I'm told it seeds everywhere. But it doesn't. It doesn't, honestly. Sometimes you've just got to go for it and just trust what you've either read or been told, but take it with a pinch of salt, because sometimes you end up with something like that when you would have probably listened to the bad advice or the wrong advice and not planted it. But I don't listen to people. I do my own research. And it's looking great in this border. This is the birch border, by the way, due to that birch there. And that birch has never really done very well. It is a very small... Oh, look at that. Look up there in the sky. Can we see it on the camera? I've not got my glasses on, so I can't see. Just above the tree now. See that? That's a red kite. Now it's started coming over more and more over my garden. I love to see them. I remember when I was working down in Buckinghamshire at a little village called West Wickham. I used to do all the lawns on that estate, and these used to be above me all the time. I used to love it. Now they're flying over here, and they weren't here at that time. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, back to the plants. So this is now called Hylotelephium, the old sedums, and this is a seedling from a particular variety called Matrona. I'm trying to think what it was called, Matrona. And Matrona is really good, but this is just a seedling. Now, when I first found it, I called it Kigers Giant, or Igor the Giant. But now I've reverted to calling it a Matrona seedling. But it's a very nice one. Very nice one. And easy to take cuttings from as well. Very easy. Maybe I should show you how to do that at some point. I maybe won't. This is a lovely plant. This is Aringium agavifolium. And one of my favourite Aringiums, definitely, because I love the simplicity. So that's the colour of the seed heads, just plain old green, but I love it. Look at them, absolutely beautiful, but really spiky. So buyer beware on that one. A nice grass behind there. Finally it's come back again. I've had it in there for the last 2 years and it's never really succeeded there. But this year, because of the heat, it has, and that's a pennisetum called Kali Rose. And it's an orientale type, so it requires a bit of heat. But actually, in the UK, it seems to do okay, even after the winters that we have. I don't lift it, I don't take it out. A lot of pennisetums further up north where we are don't tend to flower very well, whereas this one does. I like that. The rest of the stuff's doing well. Things are going through and over. But in general, everything's looking all right. We've got some more planting here. It's looking quite good. We're adding more and more plants to the gravel garden as and when I can. There's another one down here. Let me show you this one. So that is a really nice one. And its flower isn't big enough yet, and it's new in, so it's going to take some settling in. It's called Potentilla, a variety called Miss Wilmot. A nice one. This is doing well. Now I had a Euphorbia in this section originally. Oh look, little weed, missed that one, and I missed that one, and I missed the other one. Listen, when you come to my garden, I've got a lot of plants here, and I definitely get a lot of weeds. I get people coming saying, oh, I didn't expect to see weeds in your garden. Ah, bully, whoopee-doo, so what? You know, it doesn't matter. Does it matter if there's a weed in the way? No, it doesn't. And please don't say to me, oh, a weed is just a plant in the wrong place. No, sometimes a weed is a weed, and that's a weed. So there you go. But this one is lovely. This is Aringium Euphorbia, and it's first year that it's doing well. I've only had it a couple of years. I got it from Beth Chatto's, and it's doing all right. Not as strong as agavifolium, but apparently as tall. So we've yet to see, but it's sending up. How many heads is it sending up? 2. You can see. You can obviously see. In fact, let's move back here. So, whoops, sorry about that. So there you go. You can see. Seed head. Where is it? There, seed head, and seed head at the back there. 2 seed heads, so it's going to look wonderful there. Absolutely wonderful. Mr. Toad, you know I like my little toads. Collect these. If anybody's got any little old stone toads they want to send to me, feel free. I love them. Little toads, little frogs, but got to be tasteful. Nothing too tacky. I know I always say this, but I absolutely love the gravel garden or the gravel area. Oh, look, it's just gone. I've scared it off. There was a butter. Ow, just spiked myself on this Aringium. Now, this is Borgatii from seed. I've never been overly impressed with this seedling. It's more of a, well, this year it looks lavender. It is good. I mean, the colour's fine, but I like the deeper ones. And this was, as I said, from a seedling or from a seed. So, not as dark as I was expecting. But the reason I was going to show you was there was a comma butterfly just there, looking at that ladybird, which flown off now. Oh, the grass, wonderful. I mean, you know I love this grass. It is definitely my favourite grass, that caderia. Just look at that, it's so statuesque, and it's a real crowd pleaser, but people are scared to get it. Again, the moan about it's going to be too big. It's not going to be too big. You know, it's all down to your personal preferences. The amount of people I come across who say that's a big grass, and it is a big grass, but come on, you've got space for that. It's a beauty. I love it. I get all excited when this one comes out because I know how good it's going to look. You can see how beautiful that one is. This needs a bit of attention. This is the cloud pruned. What is it? Taxus picata David, this one. And it needs cutting in again. I'm about to do it. And I've done 1 or 2 videos on that if you want to search them out. But basically, I've got to get these clips back in, flatten them off or whatever. Each year, I have a mess about with them. I get rid of, I'll show you while I'm here, might as well. Get rid of little things like this, easy to deal with. In actual fact, some of them, these ones here, you could actually turn them into cuttings. I don't, but you could. So I'm taking that off, and then you get rid of it. That's how you start. And then originally, how many's in there? 3, 4. There's 4 stems in that one. You can see the 4. There's 3 you can see, but there's 1 tucked behind there. And I let those grow individually, deliberately, because I wanted to form a bigger cluster, which it now has, and it has on them all. So each one, in some cases, this one's 2, this one's just 3. As you can, let's let it stop wobbling. So that one there is 3. You can see the 3 stems, and then what I do is I let them sort of melt together, and then when I feel it's ready for clipping, I do a clip on them. Now, one thing I didn't do with this one early on was I should really have splayed it out. I should have wired it, got it coming out of itself. But actually, it's quite interesting. And if I can get the one at the back going taller above it and clip this one down lower, that'll look good. Look really good, actually. Now, I don't show you this one very often because again, people moan about bamboos. I do. I get people moaning about bamboos all the time, and it doesn't matter how many times I tell them not all bamboos are invasive, they still have a moan about them. This is a Fargesia type, one called Jizegu, and I can't remember if it's Jizegu number 1, but I think it's the one commonly called Red Panda. Although the stems don't look very red at the moment, they do at some phase. It's a beauty. An absolute beauty. So lavender's looking good. In fact, it looks brilliant. Good year for lavenders, good year for roses, and good year for lavenders. It's absolutely clothed in bees. So again, lavenders, pollinators. An absolute must for any garden. Even if you only keep one in a pot, it's definitely worth getting. And you probably can't hear the buzzing, but it's alive with the sound of buzzing. Don't you just love watching the bees going about the business? And that's where the term busy as bees comes from. I still really like this what would you call that? Water feature. Yeah, let's call it a water feature. That is a water feature I took because the people no longer required it. It was in a field where it used to water the donkeys that used to live in that field. So I took it, brought it here, filled it up, and I've got a little lily in there. It does flower, it's nothing spectacular. But I have that old pump there, and that particular one doesn't put any water out, it's just there for looks. That's little wacky things I do, as you know. We've got some of the Shirley poppies here again. They're doing well this year, the Shirley poppies. That's one type, and then you've got this one here, another type. And then there's 1 or 2 of the more common one to the back there, the red one. But these are Shirley poppies, but they're really deep red. So the red ones are probably the ones that you would want to take away because they do dominate if you're not careful. And you need to get rid of them in favour of this type, which is way better. It's looking nice. Now this is Veronicastrum, and I'm going to look the name up for you on this because I'm still getting confused as to whether it's called fascination or fasciation. Now I know this is something called fasciation. This is a bit of a viral problem that certain plants have, this being one of them. Most Veronicastrums are beautiful. Most Veronicastrums just look like that, as this one does. But this year, for some reason, it's actually looking more like this. Now, I think I was led to believe that at one point that it's probably caused by an insect early on, or some sort of a damage. And early on, it's got to be insect damage. And I've noticed there's a little insect there crawling around on it. And what they do is they put the proboscis in there, inject it, and obviously cause that sort of thing. Now, I might be wrong. I will put more information up, and as to whether it's called fasciation or fascination. Probably fascination. But probably that's the reason. In fact, that will be the reason that they call it fascination. You know, the fasciation bit is fascinating. Anyway, enough of that dribble. Foxgloves are doing well this year. They're not as big as they usually are. This is what I thought was Stewartii. In fact, there's a better example. Let's go round to it. So I thought that was Digitalis Stewartii, which becomes a very yellowy golden colour once the flower comes out. But I think it's been assessed, and a few people don't think it is. I don't know, and the person that I got it from spoke to the person they got it from, and they think it's not what they thought it was. And there is a bit of debate as to whether Stewartii actually exists. A lot of people think it's just one called Fuja, the rusty foxglove, but this is Fuja Gigantia, so it's the bigger form of it. I do have the little form, and if I remember I'll show you when we get to it, but this one becomes a 7-foot tower in one eventually, but not this year. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. And I know that because it's not actually doing what it should. In fact, I'm seeing one here that looks very interesting. I think this has been damaged. This is another one, and it's a lot more denser head. Can you see that? How dense that head is compared to this one, which throws up multiple spires. So I think, again, that could have got damaged early on as it was growing. Now this is a perennial that comes back every year. So it could be right. Could be right. Who knows? So seems we're up this end of the garden. I'll show you this little shrub, and it's a Prunus cistina. The sand cherry is its common name, and as you can imagine, it likes to be in sandy areas, which we are not up here at Grassy Bottom. We are on chalk. So it's not doing very well. The warm, hot, well, it's not warm, it's hot. I mean, it's absolutely roasting. It's making it to 29 on a regular basis up here. And it seems to be affecting this. Now, I don't think this is going to do well long term. I think even without the sun, I think this will be a problematic plant here. So I may move that. I may put that back into a pot, leave it in the pot for a while and reassess what I want to do with that one. But I don't think that's the right place for it. Other stuff's looking all right. That sorbus there, that's called scolaris, and it goes bright orange in autumn. Bright orange. And it's not growing as quick as I want it to. So, I don't know. I had toyed with moving it further in the border, but I think I'm going to leave it because the original intention, as is always with me, the bit that you can see there, where is it? There, that one there, I want that to come up and over the path to create a tunnel effect. And actually it's heading the right way now. It wasn't last year, that's why I clipped it, but it is now. So we might leave that alone. It should make almost a moped of a dense canopy, at which point it's going to look more interesting. It's not looking interesting at the minute, and yeah, I'll have a moan about that. It's just not right at the minute. The rest of the garden's looking good up here. It's looking fantastic. I'm going to have a moan about the old thunder flies. I don't know what you call them. The little black flies. Now up here, we've got a lot of crops around, and they are driving me mad today. Absolutely mad. They're everywhere. But anyway, enough of that. Back to the digitalis. Look at that. Don't they look good? They are nice plants, them. I love them. I only ever had one plant here originally, and it's set lots of seeds. I tend to pick out the ones I don't want and then leave the ones I do want, and some I forget about. I forget they're there. And in this case, it's under that acer. Probably just make it out there. It's right under there. So it's going to be a smaller plant, not going to be as good, but I'm going to leave it, and then should I wish to next year in spring, I will lift it and move it, because it is perennial, remember, so it will come back year on year. These are worth looking at. This is Achilia gold plate. See if we can get close. Now, generally pollinated, as you can see, by flies. Generally, because I think it's because the flower head is, or each individual little flower is so small that only flies can get the proboscis in there. I don't think butterflies do it. But it's wonderful. Now, the one failing, I think, I've done here, let's have a little moan about it, is that, oh, doesn't it look paler there? When you get close up to it, that's the colour. That's the true colour that you're seeing there. In actual fact, it's a bit brighter than that, but yeah, that's what it really looks like. But when you pull back, the camera, you see, changes its colour completely. Anyway, right, so what I was going to say was, I think I should have put it further in the border. I put it there because I knew it would do well there. It was suited to be there, but I think it should be further in the border to make it stand out better. So maybe next year, or at the end of this year, I'll lift that. When we get to September and beyond, I'll move that and put it further in and see what happens. Got some nice sanguisorbas, another sanguisorba there, a white variety, and then there's a couple down the garden. Further down there, looking good. So I'm going to tell you about this now. Not happy with this. Really not happy this year. Every year I put this on my videos, including my Instagram ones, because it's such an impressive grass and the biggest grass I've got, and it's MScanthus Lutaria riparius. Now, generally, even at this time of year, let's show you. So you see the owl? That's 10 foot up in the air. This plant this year has only made it to about 8 foot. At this time of the year, it's usually equally as tall as that owl. And this year I was hoping for a 20 foot out of it, which I think it could have easily have made. But because the weather's not been right for it, that's where we are with it. It's there. Now, luckily, if I can get the camera work right, it's going to still look pretty good at the base. And I've said before, what happens with this one, once we get to this time of year, it starts sacrificing all the lower leaves, and if you look, you can see all the plummy colour, and it will drop them on its own. I sometimes help it because I like doing that sort of thing, because I'm a sad geeky type of person who likes to do that. Oh, while we're here, oh my lord, look at the wild grass growing in here. Unbelievable. You can't stop it. Oh, it just grows. You've just got to keep your eye on it and just do what you've got to do. In this case, it's just an ordinary type of grass that's just self-seeded in there. Anyway, right, so there you go. Look at the plummy colour. Isn't that nice? That is really nice. And the whole thing takes on that sort of look. The whole stalk. And as I said, I like to pull these off. Once you've done that, you see, it goes plummy again. And it will do it naturally on its own. And then a lot of the stem, not all the stem, but a lot of the stem will go a plummy colour. So, although we've not got the height, which is a bit disappointing for me this year, we've got the same look at the base, which is going to look good. Now, next year will be a different story. If we get a nicer start to the year, a wetter start to the year, that will definitely be growing big again. But I guess to most people, that's still quite a tall grass. And it is. Nice Pavoskia here. I think they've changed the name, these now. I don't think they're called Pavoskias anymore. But this was in the garden when we got here, and it was a tiny, tiny little baby that I spotted. Had obviously been planted. In fact, I think there was 2 or 3. And I've managed to rescue it, and it's looking good. So commonly called the Russian sage. Oh, while I'm here, let's... Oh, a couple of weeds. Found a couple of weeds in there. As you know, I like to pull out weeds as I go along. I can't pull them all out. If I had to pull them out as I went round showing you the garden, it'd be a 5-hour video. Yeah, but that's good. So Pavoskia. So what's its common name now? I don't know what it's called now. I'll look it up and give you that information. Oh, more weeds. Don't it just do your head in? So I don't get down here as much as I'd like to get down here. But we've got so many weeds in here, and you've got to really get on top of them. I've got the garden open soon. I've got a garden club coming in. And they, like I said, people say, oh, I didn't expect you to have weeds in your garden. Why not? I'm just a gardener. You know, just because it's got so much growth in it doesn't mean there's not going to be weeds. Well, there is. This is a nice plant. It's called Aruncus oratio. Earlier on, its colour of the stem was better, but it is what it is now. It's gone past that phase, and it's producing the flowers. They're looking good. More nice flowers coming. Quite a lot at the minute. Nice grasses in there. I'm just having a little nose while I'm round here. It sort of focuses me on what I should be doing and what I should be changing, but I won't do that really until we get to September. But I will take mental notes of one or two changes I might want to make. If my memory holds out, that is. Anyway, that's nice. That's an hydrangea. And it's a purple coloured hydrangea, that one. Beautiful one once it gets going. And the hosta next to it, look at that. Blooming snails have been at it again. We've not had as many this year, I must say, because of the weather. They've kind of held it back. That's Aringium. It's doing really well now. If you want a small tree, that's the one to get. It's very slow growing, I always say this. Very slow growing. It's got cinnamon bark and it's a bit flaky, as you can see, but I love it. It's multi-stemmed, so you can keep this very small should you choose to. But I've decided to let it go now. Now, the reason it's got a bit of a flat back is because I had it in a previous garden and I cut it for that. It was next to a wall. Well, you can't really make that out on here, but the back of it's a little bit, it's not quite right. My fault, that. But as I said, it was intended to be in another garden and I didn't want to leave it because it's not a cheap tree to buy. So I lifted it. And you should do just the same. Don't just leave it because it's there. Oh, hang on. Here we go, look at that. Fuja Japonica. Looking a bit dodgy in parts, but it's starting to grow again. It's looking lovely. Just caught me as I walked past. Right, carry on. Philadelphus. We'll give you a little bit of info on this particular one. Now, this was already in the garden when we moved. It was a tiny plant. It's getting bigger and bigger each year, and it would have been a lot bigger than this, but I've been trimming it back. Last year I trimmed it a little bit wrong. Well, I didn't. I did it right for me because at the time it was covering this boardwalk and I needed to trim it back, but I trimmed it back at the wrong time of the year. So as a result, we've got flowers one side, as you can see from there, which are very nice actually. Get you a close up. There you go. The one on the right's the better one. The one on the left, been pollinated. That's what they look like. They look good. So as a result, because I pruned it at that particular time, no flowers at all on here. So what I'm going to do this year, another weed while I'm here. Oh, it smells lovely, this. It does have a heavy scent. All Philadelphus do. If you want something for heavy scent in summer, any type of Philadelphus will do it. So what I shall do this year, as soon as them flowers start going over, I'm going to prune the whole. I'm going to prune the whole of the plant, so that next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll all come in flower at the same time. This is the boardwalk border. It's looking good now. Some massive plants in here. Doing really well, as you can see. Now that is a wonderful Lythrum, and that's Lythrum salicaria Firecursa, and it's, I think, 2 foot smaller than last year. Again, all down to the weather. It's too dry for it. It wants more water, but you can see pollinators love it. They're all over it. And Firecursa means fire candle. And you can see why it's named that. There are other good ones. There's one called Robert, which is particularly good as well. I prefer this. I do have Robert. It's further up the garden. It's not as tall as this one. Okay, so here I used to have Euphorbium, my skinny mini. Unfortunately, Euphorbiums like, or fortunately, depends how you look at it, they like moisture. It's not getting it here. And year on year, although in the first 2 years it was looking brilliant, it slowly each year got smaller and smaller. So I've took it out. There is now a Euphorbia there, still got its flowers on. I will remove them very soon, actually. In fact, I might remove them once I've done this film. It will help it encourage it to get bigger quicker. And originally that was in this very border. It was actually just here, the original mother plant. Now I took a couple of cuttings. This one still survives, and it was only a selected seedling that I took. I always look for the bluer forms, and that was an exceptional form, but the mother plant died, and out of the 3 I took at the time, that was my favourite one. So I was pleased when it took, and I've just forgotten about it since then. But it's there. I know why I've left it now. I know why I've left those flowers. That surprised me, because I do keep on top of these euphorbias. Let me show you. Let me show you some of what happens. Now, what some plants do, and this is doing it now, is it sends little babies up on the stalks like that. Now, they can be picked off when they get a little bit bigger, and they can be little baby plants. They will take very nicely. It's on the main flower stalk. So I'm going to take those off. That's why I've left them. I know now why I left them on. And I'm going to take those as cuttings. Oh, I just got a scent of this. This has been moved as well. This is Nepeta nuda. And I got this scent the other day. I'm having another smell of it. It smells like, if you can remember, Calamine lotion. When we were little kids, we were always getting millions of diseases, and our mothers used to rub us with cream. And Calamine lotion was one of them. And that's exactly what that smells like. That's just took me back. I'm not going to say how many years, but it's took me back a long way. While I'm here, I want to show you this. This is an Echinops, not your usual Echinops. Now I'm hoping I've got the label, so I'm going to show you the label so I don't have to put the name up. There you go. Echinops Tyanshanicum. Now this should get to 5-6 foot easily in flower. It's not going to do it because it's just too dry, but it's doing really well now, and it will self-seed, and it will be true from seed. So maybe I need to collect some of those seeds to be sure that I've got that particular one. But it's looking good. Here's another Echinops. Another nice one. I'm trying to find something else interesting for you to look at that I ain't shown you a million times. We've got another grass that's quite rare. You can get hold of this one. It's Calamagross, this, and it's one called Kigers Giant. A beauty, and it is just starting to set a seed. There you go, or a seed head. So there's one there for sure. Two. So it's been put to this position, which is a very rugged bit of garden called the no-name garden, this bit. And I kept thinking, well, really, it's Calamagross. It'd probably benefit from some good soil. So I had it in another part of the garden initially, and it didn't do very well. And when I read on it, it can take -40 in wherever Kygers is, because it's called Kigers Giant. Wherever that is, it grows up in sort of valleys on the mountains, if that makes sense. So the little valleys that you get on sort of hillsides. This lives there, and it can make -40. So what I decided was, we'll put it here. We'll let it grow there. And it's doing absolutely excellently. So it does like those conditions. Now, unfortunately, it's too close to that box edge, because that box edge is going to get big. So at some point, I am going to have to move it further towards the wall, which I will do. I'll probably do that in autumn as well. Or I might leave it till spring, because it'll take better in spring. But I should certainly do something with that. Looking nice. Oh, yeah, I'll show you this again. Now this is all but over at the minute. It's campanula, just planted itself there. And then there's another one I've spotted back there. Can you see it? There. So it's there. So it's doing well. I've decided to keep it. It's too close to the Hyacinth, but I shall wait till it's finished flowering and I shall remove the clump and put it somewhere else. The Hyacinth is just starting. There's the seed head, flower head rather. Doing well. This one's called Fuja. And then, look, got a little geranium. Now this is why I put that geranium there. See if I can get away without showing you the... So, this one is called Anne Folkard, that geranium. And as I said, I put it there deliberately to go through that plant, because that's where it's good at. Really, I could have done with going a bit closer. But it is where it is, and it'll be so fine. Phyllictrums this year, terrible. They're doing terrible because they like more moisture. That's Phyllictrum ant, and that is literally 3 foot shorter than it is in other years. It's terrible. I'm not going to ponder on that. I'm going to move away from it. It just gets on my nerves when I see things like that. They do bug me. One thing I did spot yesterday while I was out here. Now this is, well, this gets mentioned all the time, and this is called MScanthus jubilaris, and it has these stripes run that way. Beautiful. Each leaf has a different type of stripe, as you can see. But yesterday I spotted this, a really nice one there. Getting in my way. Look at that. Typical, isn't it? When you want to show something, you never can. Let's get in closer. There we go. Can you see that one? How nice is that stripy one there? That is beautiful. And it's standing quite tall and upright. Now usually when these sort of plants do this, it means they're going to be setting a seed, because they're going quite tall and rigid. I'm hoping for that this year, but this one has never ever flowered for me because our season isn't long enough. But don't let that put you off having it, because it is a lovely clumper for a jungly garden as well. Look great in a jungly garden. Right, let's move on. We'll bring this video to an end in a minute. And this is lovely. This has now got to be moved. This is Ligularia Borevii. And it wants to be literally moved to there. Just that amount. Because I've removed a grass that used to live there. And this Ligularia really could do with moving away from the other two plants. This is Acanthus spinosa, as you can see. But it is a particular variety. And I've looked for the label for this one, which would have been in my greenhouse in a plant pot, but I can't find it, so I've obviously thrown it away. And the reason being that when I planted it, it died away, wouldn't do it. So 4 years ago maybe, I put that there and it never ever did out and died away, so I've thrown the label away. But look, that's where it's become. Never ever give up on anything, because they can become that. And it's beautiful. Bird's breeches is the common name, if you need to know. I'll just show you this while we're passing all these areas. The Calamagross, again, 1.5 2 foot shorter than it usually is in other years. But, you know, it is what it is. There's Amish hunting out. I think he's looking for mice. He's definitely after something. Now, bad news. Bad news. Spud, the black one, little black one, disappeared 3 days ago. He's not returned, and we're both a little bit upset by it, me and Kathy. But you know, we're living hope that he may come back. So I've had cats before that have disappeared for 6 weeks at a time and come back. But he was always that type of cat to do that. So we've just got to hope he comes back. Anyway, enough of that. So we'll walk up this way, and this is looking nice. All of this, I'm not going to ponder on this or linger on it, but I'm going to end here. I do not like blousy flowers. You know I don't like blousy flowers. This is a poppy, and they pop up all over in my garden because we planted some opium poppies some years ago, and every year you get different varieties coming out of it. Don't know why, but you just do. Normally the normal type would be that one there. That's what they should look like. These, I've had these in other years. These have popped up like this, and I hate them. I hate them with a passion, because they're too blousy. I almost want to be sick while I'm looking at those. That's me. You probably love them. I bet you do. I bet you lot love them. I hate them. Kathy likes it. So I've kept it. I've kept them for Kathy because she likes it. It's not just about me, this garden. It's also about Kathy. So we leave some stuff in that she likes. So this is a case of, you know, got to make some sort of an acceptance on certain things. Actually, while I'm talking, I was just thinking, what's this grass? That is a MScanthus, not doing very well at all. New in this year. Should be a good one, that. Anyway, get off that subject at the minute. we'll water that later and it should be good. So it's looking good. So I don't like these poppies. No wrong with them. You all love them, but I don't like them. But as I said, I will leave them alone. Leave them for Kathy. She likes them. But I want to rip them out. I want to rip them out as I'm telling you, but I better not. Better leave them for Kathy. So we'll end with this shot here. Looking nice in the wildlife area. Everything's growing well. Everything's doing all right, but we've just got too much heat now. We all like the sun and we all like the heat. It's just too much now. It's getting to that time of year when it's really annoying me now, especially with all the thunderflies that are attacking me at the moment while I'm doing this. Anyway, right, I'll do a bit more of an in-depth talk at a later date, and hopefully I can be a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit more focused. Okay, I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-da!